Hey, what's up? Tristan from Huge Menace here. Welcome to part 13 of the ND add-on deep dive series. In this video, we'll cover the last of the operators, those related to viewport management. These operators help you perform essential tasks while modeling, such as viewing your object's wireframe or face orientations, toggling utils and object silhouettes, and more. Let's get right into it. Like a few other categories in ND, the viewport menu has its own shortcut, Alt plus V. I'll use that in this video because it's quicker to open and it has become muscle memory. You can, however, always access it from the main ND menu or the end panel, whichever method you prefer. The first viewport operator, wireframes, is simply a shortcut for toggling viewport wireframe mode, which would otherwise be toggled from the viewport overlays menu. It's generally quicker hitting the Alt plus V shortcut as it opens the viewport menu right where your mouse cursor is. In a similar manner, the option to toggle face orientation is right below wireframes in the viewport menu. If you're unsure what face orientation mode is, it's a way to quickly visualize which direction your object's face normals are pointing. This is essential regarding shading, game asset creation, as engines perform backface culling, etc. The next toggle on the list is utils visibility. This operator isn't a shortcut for an existing Blender function such as wireframes and face orientation, it's specific to ND's implementation. In a nutshell, it's a quick way of toggling the viewport visibility of all objects present in ND's util collection. So, for example, let's duplicate this cube a couple of times and then use the duplicates to perform Boolean operations. You'll notice that only the last Boolean util remains visible at the end of each Boolean operation. If you'd like to hide it, you can select Utils Visibility. If you'd like to view all utils again, rerun it, as it acts as a toggle. Let's take this one step further by duplicating this setup several times. If we toggle the visibility now, all the utils will disappear as expected. If we rerun it, they'll all come back. But what happens if we're only interested in a single object's utils? Well, if I first hide all of the utils, select a target object, and shift-click on Toggle Utils, ND will only make utils related to the chosen object visible. This mode also works on multiple objects at the same time. There is another unique way to perform a similar action with more flexibility, which I'll cover at the end of the video as it's not in the viewport menu. Let's hide all the utils and move on to the next operator. When creating a low poly version of a high poly mesh, mainly for game assets, you often want to reduce the poly count as far as you can without significantly destroying your object's overall shape, or instead its silhouette. It shouldn't be any surprise that the name of our next operator is silhouette. Just a heads up, this operator only works when you're in solid mode. To run it, you don't need anything selected, just choose it from the menu. ND will apply a temporary flat shading to your object and viewport background. This combination allows you to inspect your object's silhouette without the distractions of its surface details or shading, which is precisely what you want given that surface details are often baked. You can also toggle the foreground and background colors. Finally, let's take a look at our overlay toggles. This option has two variations, custom and all. Let's start with all. Choosing this operator will toggle all the viewport overlays, giving you a blank, distraction-free view of your object. I often run it during the modeling process to take a step back and inspect what I'm creating without all the additional visual noise in the viewport. As you may have already suspected, the second variation is a custom config. You can configure this in the add-on preferences under the UI tab. Selecting the Custom Overlays operator now toggles between all the default overlays being visible and just the custom ones you've chosen. Okay, so I promised that an additional operator would be mentioned at the end of the video. This operator's name is Cycle. It isn't located in the viewport menu, it's a standalone operator at the top of the ND main menu. It does a few different things, let's go through them all. I'll start by selecting one of our objects and then choose Cycle. The cycle operator allows you to cycle between the util objects, in this case the Boolean utils affecting the selected object. You'll then have several auxiliary actions you can perform. You can quickly disable and enable the active Boolean by pressing D. Press W to toggle the wireframes on the target object. This is useful to visualize how a Boolean affects the object's geometry. You can also mark a Boolean as applied by pressing A. which ND will action once you confirm and close the operator. While cycling through the utils, you can also hit F to freeze them. In this case, freeze refers to ensuring the util remains visible while continuing to cycle through the remaining utils. When you confirm and close the operator, whichever util is selected will be selected along with any frozen utils. And for you eagle-eyed viewers, you may have noticed another option called Mode. Before I show you what it does, let's craft a slightly more complicated object using a series of non-destructive actions. I'll play some hold music while I do this. Okay, now that we have an object with a few different operations performed on it, let's bring up the cycle overlay once more. Let's press M to change our mode from utility to modifier. You'll notice the object immediately returns to its base starting shape, or fundamentally whatever geometry is present before any modifiers are applied. Scrolling up effectively acts as a playhead, scrolling through each modifier in the object stack from top to bottom, enabling it as we go. It's a way to visualize the history of operations performed on your object. But don't worry, all ND does in this mode is toggle the visibility of modifiers. It doesn't remove any of them or change any of their settings. So, the minute you close the operator, your object returns to what it was before you ran cycle. Awesome. Well, we're nearing the end of the series. At this point, we've covered all the operators ND offers. In the following video, we'll close off by going through all of ND's preferences you can alter to further customize ND to your workflow and tastes. I'll see you there.